Hey, it's Pierre from Squash Source. I got a review today of the Dunlop Hyperfibre XT Revelation 125. This is the Noor El Tayeb signature racket. There's her signature right there. Hyperfibre XT. This is from Dunlop's 2019 range of rackets. I am back in the squash court for this video because I wanted to point out something a little bit later in this clip, but first, this racket is a basically update of the 125 Revelation from prior years. It's got the same kind of head shape, a sort of larger teardrop with traditional stringy pattern, and we've got the black Dunlop silk string and Hydromax grip. So I've just done a review of the Dunlop Pro Lite, and I don't have the other one with me, but I'll compare it sort of mentally. I think about this as it feels like a much lighter racket. I'll put the specs on screen here so you can compare them to the Pro Lite. This racket has a kind of tendency for me to want to play. I kind of picture Noor El Tayeb playing. She's got like a big flowing swing with a lot of different angles and shapes to her, to the way she swings. And when I started trying to hit with this, I started kind of playing that way. And what I wanted to say about this was that it's funny how like a certain kind of racket will play into what your best sort of swing pattern. And for me, it's not that kind of flowing swing in that manner. I don't have that kind of, I think that takes a certain kind of racket skill that's not really up my alley. I prefer to have my racket a little flatter, more like Ali Farag, I think I would say. And when I played better with this racket because it's very light, and I started to think I was a shooter, but I'm not. You know, I'm better off just playing my normal style. It doesn't really matter too much what frame necessarily what the frame shape is that you're using, as long as you kind of stick to your regular swing. And once I started to do that, that's when I started to kind of play better with this racket. It took me a little bit to adjust to it. I think that this is an excellent racket, and I don't have the prior version here to compare it with. But if you're used to this racket, then I think that, or if you've played with the prior version of this, I think you'll be happy with it. The cosmetic, I think, looks great, as all of the 2019 Dunlops do. And again, they have the Hyperfibre reinforcement material this year in the 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock positions and the throat. So they're meant to be the same overall balance and weight as last generation's models, and but with slightly different reinforcement points. It did feel nice and crisp as I was hitting it. It was very light, so that if that's something that you are used to or looking for, then these would do. Then this would be a good fit for you. So I'm going to take a few shots with this baby and show you it in action. Oh, a real quick comparison between the 125 and the 135 model. They are the same mold. The 125's got the kind of highlighter yellow, bright yellow accent, and it has, aside from the advertised weight difference, you can see the stringing pattern on the 125 is your traditional stringing pattern, and the 135 has the fan pattern, as has been the case for the last few generations of these rackets. I'm testing the 135 now, and we'll have a review of that one next. All right, let me take a few shots with this and show you it in action. So overall, I would say with this racket, it is extremely light, extremely maneuverable, and this is perfect for a player who has a bit of artistry and craftsmanship in their swing. It's not one that has much weight in the head and that's going to give you a little kind of guidance through your shot. You have to be able to put that spin and racket skills to work on the ball in order to get the most out of this one. Or you just like a light racket and want to be able to run around feeling like you have kind of like a dagger in your hand that's very maneuverable and not, you know, not overly heavy. Not heavy at all. It feels very light and effortless kind of racket. So that again is the Dunlop Hyperfibre XT Revelation 125. Thanks.